Here's Joey from the Bronx. What's going on, Joey? You're on the air.
Hey, what's up, Eddie? That first of all, the Eddie in the Tracks thing is beyond hilarious, and I'm literally for the past couple months been working on like top 10 best of Eddie in the Trunks cover tunes: UFO, Kiss Alive, Skid Row, Deep Tracks, Billy Squire. I got a whole list, man. So I'm looking forward to that.
I'm really getting close to doing it. I'm not even kidding. There's a lot of bands out there that feel the same way that I do and are so pissed off at what's happening that they will support it and they will let me open or they will write the songs for me just as a statement. So it's getting close. I mean, every day I hear another one of these stories, and every day I see people spending thousands on tickets or hundreds on tickets to see bands that are completely faking it and hearing about how great they sound. I'm seriously very, very close, Joey.
Yeah, but just make sure you save your voice for like the heavy Skid Row stuff, that really heavy shit you like. To save the voice for those shows. You don't want to mess up.
I don't need to save anything because it's all a track.
Exactly. Well, listen, that's why I'm
bringing Sebastian out to open. I'm gonna have Sebastian. I'm gonna open for Sebastian, and I'm gonna sing "Quicksand Jesus," and I'm gonna blow Sebastian away. I'm gonna be like, Baz, watch this, man. Look at how good I can sing. It's gonna be just like you, and I'm gonna do "Quicksand Jesus" for him. It'll kill.
Great.
And it'll sound exactly like him. Because it will be.
I'm calling about this whole playing the track thing, honestly, Eddie. You were someone, during the COVID thing, you kept reminding everybody that whenever this COVID thing was going to end, after 2 years, when it ended, it was going to be like a floodgate would open, as you described it, because all the shows, everyone would be booking shows. It would be what we're experiencing right now, which is show after show after show. So you've talked about this Cure North American tour that was just announced, and I saw when they announced that. Right, I have a theory. I looked at the roster, and I'm looking. This is a 60-something-year-old guy, I believe, the singer. Right, it's
Robert
date
Smith.
after date, and I noticed. I was at the Wasp show with Blackley Lawless, and that's when I first caught the playing the tracks thing. Like, it was date after date after date. I'm thinking, how can a 60-something-year-old person, 70-something, do these consecutive dates knowing that the voice is, I'm a musician, the voice is a muscle. You have to rest that muscle. You can't do 4 or 5 dates in a row singing that kind of stuff at that level. And I have this theory after seeing the Cure thing and what you had said about the floodgates opening is it's kind of sad. It's almost like after 2 years of road crews, of musicians, of all of us, audience suffering, not being able to go to shows. And then when slowly the shows started opening up, people were getting sick or catching COVID or whatnot. By playing the tracks, especially an older person or an older band, you're guaranteeing that the show will go on, everyone's going to get paid, everything's going to sound good. I'm sorry, I think it's really sad, but I kind of think to me it makes sense. It's a slam dunk guarantee that you're going to get your money's worth, although it hurts our pocket because every single ticket I'm buying at this point is $300-$400. I'm buying them to a certain extent. So I wanted to see what you had to say about that. This being sort of a weird side effect of COVID. This what's happening with this playing track, the proliferation. The thing is, it's out of control. What's happening now, and it was not really like that before. Number one. Number two, I wanted to tell you. Yeah, go ahead.
No, finish your point, Joey. I got to hit a break, but go ahead.
Yeah. Number two, I wanted to say I was at that WAP show, and the weird thing, I heard people called in saying, "Oh, they had a great time." I was right behind the board. I saw what was happening, and something hit me that there are these personalities, these characters, like a Blackie Lawless, okay, that people want to be in their presence in a small venue like that. So even though it's playing track, they just want to be around this guy who's probably never going to come back to the U.S. So there's that element also about this whole playing the track thing, that people, when they're at the end of their career, people just want to be in their presence before whatever happened, like what happened to Jeff Beck, right? I regret not going to the Paramount show that he did with Johnny Depp now, because look what happened. I'm going to let you go. I want to hear what you have to say about this side effect COVID thing. I want to hear it.
Yeah,
It's technical.
All right, Joey. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting point that Joey brings up, which I think I kind of figured out what he's saying is just like everybody wants to get back out on the road so much that it's like, screw it, put up the Pro Tools and play 5-6 nights a week, even though I can only do like 2 nights a week, really. Again, I don't know. I don't know if I agree with what he's saying. I don't know if I think that's really a side effect. I think what's happening and why this is becoming so prominent is 2 reasons. Technology has made it easier and easier to do. But the other biggest reason is there's no penalty for it. I mean, there's no penalty for it. And the third reason is touring is so competitive that there are some artists that think that you've got to sound pitch perfect every single night to get people to keep coming back. That if you don't sound great, people are not going to come back, and then you're going to lose out on people and lose out on money. And to me, I mean, it's all flawed in my opinion. It's all wrong because, again, I say this 1 billion times, like, to me, and I understand what Joey's saying. There's people that just want to go and see the show or see the person or, as Joey said, be in the presence or, see the stage set or whatever it is, the electricity of that. But, yeah, that's all gravy. The only reason why I ever went to a live show and still do is to hear the band play live. I don't understand how that's even arguable. And if I'm not hearing it at least 95% live, I have zero interest. But yeah, I think it's driven by a pressure to sound exactly perfect every night, regardless of if you can sing or play or not, which is driven by they all make their money on the road now, so we want to be better sounding and bigger sounding than the next person. And it's all wrong, and it's all grossly unfair to the... Again, when we get into these conversations, you cannot discount the vast amount of bands that are still doing it live. I just saw Winger and Lita Ford the other night, completely live. I saw Alter Bridge and Mammoth WVH, completely live. There are tons of bands that feel the same way that I do and take pride in it, but when are they going to stop? They're going to fold their tent on doing it if everyone just accepts it. You got so many examples of people being complete, whether it's Blackie being honest about it, Motley Crue being honest about it, Kiss's manager being honest about it, all these examples, but people are still going. To me, that's the ultimate dangerous thing. The acceptance of it, the indifference, and then we're toast. Because why would anybody put the work in? Why would? Which is my point about doing my own band. You hope that enough bands out there have enough pride and integrity for their craft. A guy like Lenny Kravitz who was on yesterday, and trust me, there's plenty of new bands. A band like Dirty Honey, they're never going to track and sing to tracks. They're real bands, and they're young. So there's plenty of examples of people that are still believe that a live rock show should be live. But yeah, there's interesting stuff to what Joey says. And the other interesting part, now I have no idea about The Cure, and I have no idea what they're doing, but Joey's point is Robert Smith is 60 years old. They're about to tour, and he's looking at their routing, seeing they're playing 6 nights a week. Hey, how's this guy going to hold up? There's no way. I don't know enough about The Cure to know what they will or may not do live. Because the way that it works, the best way to do it is you just have a human being out there helping you. There's plenty of bands that use extra musicians live to fill out the sound. Cheap Trick. They now have Robin Sun on all shows. Live, they're a 5-piece. There's many bands that do that, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. Winger is now a 6-piece. The 5 original members, and they've got an extra guitar player. And I was talking to some people, I'm like, why? Winger's always been a 1-guitar band. It's just been Reb. Why is there an extra guitar player? It's not about the guitar playing, it's about the vocal. Because they do everything real. And they need an extra voice. So strum some guitar, but we need you for your voice. Nothing but respect for people that do that. Rival Sons, who I love, they got an extra guy. He plays keys, he sings. Nothing wrong with that. So maybe The Cure does something like that. I don't know. But you are right. It can be a flag if you see an older band and they're playing 6 nights a week that something could be going on. For instance, if Aerosmith tours, which I'm hearing they might, you're going to see 2, max 3 shows a week, but likely 2 shows a week. They play a Tuesday and a Saturday, and that's it. Why? Because Steven really sings, and he needs, at his age, 3-4 days to recover after a show. The rest of the band don't like it because it's a lot of money. It's an expensive way to tour, but you want to bring a real live show and your singer has pride in what he's doing and he's 75 years old, you do what you got to do.